The best trait in men and how to use it to get love and commitment. You can use this wonderful trait that men have. I would dare say almost all men have this trait. That's not really hyperbole. I'm going to challenge you to question this trait. And I bet if you are anywhere over teenage, you have experienced this trait in a man that you've been involved with or dated. You just haven't really registered it in a way whereby you can use it for the longevity of a relationship. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live tonight about using the best trait in men to get you the love and commitment you desire and deserve. That's what we're all about. You know, if you know me, that I am Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach for women, licensed social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I help you find a Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship with a man you truly desire, so you create the relationship of your dreams and you level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. That's what I'm all about here on YouTube in my coaching practice, and is right there for me to answer your questions during Q&A, and we can have a lively discussion. There are times I have callers, and you can get the information on how to be on with me here live. And without further ado, let's get to tonight's topic, the best trait in men. What do you think I'm going to say is the best trait in any man that you can use to get the love and commitment you desire and deserve, even if you have broken up with a man? Because I bet, even if you haven't, if you've had arguments or disagreements, and this is a tip, you have experienced this trait. I'm really curious as to what you might put in the comments. What do you think this trait is? What am I going to say? What am I going to tell you about men? Let me give you a hint and see if that helps. Here's a good one. When in doubt, wait him out. It's kind of a hint about this trait. Again, I'm very curious. I bet you are getting more curious what I'm going to say. Let me see if I can come up with another hint. Most every woman who has had a breakup with a man experiences this, whether it's one day after, 1 week after, 1 month after, 1 year after, 1 decade after. So now that's a big tip, this trait. As it relates to women, love interests, and relationships. That's the trait we're talking about. This trait, and I'm going to get to it, because I would bet, and tell me in the comments it's a yes or a no, you have broken up with a man. Now, this isn't the trait, but I would say, and this isn't hyperbole, I would go out on a limb and say 99% of men, if you've had any kind of relationship with him and there was, mutual positive regard in any way, he will come back. I'm not talking about long protracted divorces or something like that, but if you've had any kind of relationship with him, I don't care, everything from a friends with benefits situationship, something along the lines of a relationship, full-blown relationship, to one degree or another, comes back. The trait is that, and I'm going to link them together and give you the first part of the trait, which is, if you allow for the wondering, if you allow for his wondering, you let it go, you go no contact, he forgets about all the negative stuff. This goes hand in hand with the trait. He forgets to a minimal degree, but enough of a degree that he forgives it. Whatever it is, he forgives it. He doesn't even care to revisit it, and he definitely forgives it in a way that women generally don't. We have a longer memory, and we tend to ruminate, and this is borne out by studies. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. It's just the differences between the sexes that we can utilize in our relationships. They don't go back. If you have had an argument, fight, breakup, you must go from here forward, changing what you do, how you think, your behaviors to elicit his change. But talking about it will get you nowhere. He doesn't want to. He doesn't like to. He will, you could say, maybe this is on the scale of forgive, forget, deny a little bit, but every woman has experienced this. Every woman, pretty much. I mean, there have been maybe certain ones that don't, but on the whole, and on average, if he liked you at all, he will do this. And we can use it to our advantage. It's part and parcel of my lure him back approach and how I work with women and lure him back, because it is pretty much a given that he will. Now, there have been circumstances, and if you listen to Make Him Wonder, I talk with women, and I'm always very honest. I give my honest opinion, whether I believe he will. 99% of the time, he will. And this can be in what we can consider really negative circumstances. Really, like, I've worked with women who have, there's no way he's coming back. I ruined it. In large part, that isn't true. You must forgive yourself if you're feeling that I ruined it. No, because his memory is much shorter and he doesn't hold on to things emotionally like you do. It's just that any woman who comes to me and she says, will he be back? I'm batting 1,000, meaning, yes, when I say it, he does. And I've not been wrong yet. If I have any question, I say, I can't be sure, but I can tell you this. If you don't do this lure him back approach, when he does come back, if he does, you won't really have a good shot at it and nothing will change. And you have to reset things so they can be restarted in a way that's going to best ensure you going the distance if that's something you want. And that's really the crux of when I'm working with a woman on her mindset, her manifesting it to stay in the positive mindset. Mindset encompasses her positive state, her working on her self-concept. We go over affirmations that must be said continuously to override the negative programming that we've all had as babies, to one extent or another. The self-concept is very important to not overwhelm him with dysregulation. I say it on almost all of my videos. And remember, we don't need information as much as we need reminding. Here's the reminding again. What a man needs in a relationship to be able to commit at all. He needs safety and happiness. Safety has two subheadings. First, he must feel safe that you are in the Madonna category of Freud's Madonna whore dichotomy. That means you are girlfriend, wife material. This is to commit to you. He's got to feel safe in that way. That's very male. Won't go into that here. We talk about it a lot. You can always ask questions. Second category of safety is he must feel safe from your emotional dysregulation that he doesn't understand, doesn't want to talk about, doesn't want to delve into, can't handle, because he can't fix it. You can't fix what you don't understand. And a lot of it doesn't make sense to the man. It's up to us to guide and show, not via verbalization. And then, of course, the other category, which is happiness. Okay? Meaning that he knows he makes you happy. He knows he makes you happy. That's what floats his boat. So this trait, which is very male, you can absolutely use to your advantage in a big way, especially related to arguments, disagreements, breakups. It's how men relate. I want you to think about this. Think about the stereotypical two guys in a bar, and they're maybe watching something political or a game, and one says something the other doesn't like, and they start going at it. And maybe it comes to blows, and maybe there's some kind of fist fight or something. And it's kind of iconic in a way that this just happens with guys, that yada, 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 whatever happens. And now they're best buddies, arm in arm, drinking a beer and enjoying themselves again. They relate via action. It's quick. It's over. You don't talk about it. This is antithetical to who women are. But when we utilize traits of men that are good and can make things easier, we can win. Generally, talking about a relationship and what's going on gets us very little. And I always say, if you are doing it, talking about your relationship, it's making him uneasy. Here's what a man thinks. if we're talking about it, there's a problem, and I don't know what the problem is. It doesn't make sense to me from what she's telling me. So I can't, ding, 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 I was over here with it, make her happy. I don't make her happy. If I made her happy, we wouldn't be talking about the relationship. Now, this may seem so elementary and almost puerile, but from their vantage point, it makes sense. We can think about this in other facets of our life. For example, I use all the time the mechanics of men, the analogy of the car. Well, if the car's running well, all's right with it, we're not talking about it. We just get in it and use it. We don't have to talk about it. It's when things go wrong with it that we are discussing it. Who's going to take the car in? Where are we going to go? How are we going to afford the this on it, the that on it? What's going on with it? And we have to talk about it, handle it. Men are just very simple with this, and that's how they view it if you're talking about the relationship. There's so much out here now about communication. We communicate with our man by not talking. We communicate via action, which gets things across much, much better. This is hard. It's where my coaching comes in, because it's hard to do in the moment when you have to diagnose the right problem first to apply a fix. And many times we can't see the forest for the trees, and we need that objective view. What's going on? And then how do I fix it with action, not words? But that wonderful trait of them forgetting, quote unquote, moving on, moving through, moving past, forgiving. And for you, you're going to want confirmation that there's been change to feel safe going back. This is where the work needs to be done. This is where we need to work for you to have changed your approach, and then know that if the behaviors arise again, in him, say, you have the tools to handle it. So it can then go the distance, if that makes sense. So I would bet if you really think about it, you have had those situations in your life. If enough time has elapsed and you have changed, energetically, this is how the universe works. You change, meaning your mindset. You start manifesting him back, and then you work with the mechanics of men. When he does resurface, you need to be different. For example, let's take excessive chasing. If you do the work, meaning you've got to override the subconscious programming that has left you feeling less than, abandoned, not worthy, not lovable, and that you have to chase a love interest in order to have him. You see, if that fundamentally doesn't change, then you will be right back to where you were. He will feel that when he first comes back that nothing has changed. You have to show right from the beginning. Let's go through this. For example, you feel like you were excessive. You kept reaching out. You didn't leave him alone. You were inconsolable during the breakup. You reached out many times, maybe even inappropriate times. You laid it all on him and how heartbroken you were, and on and on. But through time, it stopped. Some amount of time went by, because it wasn't that he didn't love you that he left. It's that he didn't want the behaviors. So then he broke it off. When he first reaches out, you must show change. How do you show change? Well, you certainly don't jump right on it when he texts. That would show haven't really changed. You have to be more strategic, and you have to be more self-possessed, in control. He needs you to be in control. So remember the safety. He must feel safe from your emotional dysregulation. He is testing when he first reaches out and comes back. So the work you're doing on your own following a breakup can be exceedingly useful. As a matter of fact, I worked with women who, after a certain amount of time, and they realized, I'm different now. I've done this work. I have self-regulated. I'm overcoming my subconscious programming. I'm feeling more worthy. I am more self-possessed. I know I can regulate better in a relationship. Damn, he was a really good man I'd like to have back. Even in a situation like this, I help that woman craft, actually, if I know she's really ready, going back and making an overture, showing up differently, whereby he's wondering like, wow, this is different. Maybe I'll take that risk and see. Again, it's me working one-on-one with you to really get to the unique circumstances so we can show up differently to make him feel safe. I hope that you get here what can be done. This is a big part of the psychology of my lure him back approach that works like a charm with getting back together and actually going the distance. So you just know that if there is someone that you want to get back with, there is a chance when you do the work to a place where you have started to and continue to override your subconscious negative programming that makes you crazed with craving him, pursuing him, reaching out to him. That's from your subconscious space of, I'm left, I'm not worthy, I have needs that are never met, I'm not good enough, I have to prove it. When we work on that part of it. And this is helped by manifesting and getting into manifesting. I use the Neville Goddard law of assumption approach that helps you stay in the state of knowing that you can create the life of love that you desire. You can. If he's been in your awareness before, you can have him back to a great degree. So then once it starts working energetically. And, when we talked about on a previous live here, the water experiment, and by talking positively to the one bowl of water over the other two, this bowl develops crystals. The second bowl we say nothing to, and they're side by side. And the third bowl we talk negatively to, and the middle bowl just sits there, doesn't create the crystals. The third bowl gets ugly, dark. It shows the frequency. We are 70% water. What we tell ourselves has that effect. We are always overriding. We have to remember to override the programming from our conscious mind to our subconscious with I am affirmations, sleep meditations in the I am form, everything positive and grateful. If you want to join our lives here, and if you've seen any, you know that I also take calls when members of the 80/20 Wonder Club want to ask me a question. They come on anonymously and ask a question that is available to you for joining monthly or saving money by joining 6 months or 12 months. You get every single episode of the Make and Wonder podcast, and you can be here asking me a question actually live on the air with us and talking to me anonymously, because I need my questions answered typically to give you the best answer. So, and if you are a member of the 80/20 Wonder Club, or if you are on my email list, you get a breakdown of what the live is going to be about. So again, for less than a latte a month, you can join the 80/20 Wonder Club, and you can talk to me here, and I can answer your question in real time by talking to you. So this must serve as a reminder. Men are great at forgetting and forgiving and moving on and coming back because of their forgiving. If you, during any time, if you want a man back, are doing the work I just outlined, you can have him back, reset everything, and restart it. It's how, meaning what you do vis-a-vis your particular circumstances. I just went over one whereby you were the one coming towards him. Well, when he finally does, you've got to pull back and show restraint so that he feels safe that there's been change. He's checking in a way. You have to be ready for that. So I trust this was helpful. If you have any need because you are wanting your man back and you want to take a deeper dive on it, you can do that with me for free. You can do it by talking to me on the podcast Make and Wonder. I have real coaching conversations there, in full, in depth, to take a deep dive on what the situation was, how you can go about doing the lure him back approach, what I feel, and I always am honest, even if it's not exactly fun or what you want to hear. I give you my honest assessment. We can craft a way for you to do it, and you can finally know. And if it's been holding you back because your heart is with him and you haven't been able to move ahead with him, let's not waste time. Let's get it moving by you making the commitment to working on yourself with the mindset, the manifesting mechanics of men. We do the lure him back approach and see if the timing is right as well, because that always factors in when I'm working with someone. In other words, if someone gave me here the hypothetical of what if you were totally pursuing and chasing even, or even what can feel like a bit of stalking, and it's been 2 weeks since that happened and you've been in no contact for 2 weeks, it's still too soon. But we got to prep you, because utilize that time as a gift for the work on you. Focus on you and he will too. And you kind of owe it to yourself if you scale him anywhere from a 6 or 7 up. So what I mean by that is on a scale of 1 to 10, if you've scaled him as a real possibility, meaning he's a 6, 7 or higher on the scale, but you're not feeling it. In other words, oh, he's great on paper. I like him. I'm, feeling good about it, but I'm looking for more. This is where the rubber meets the road. You have to take stock of, is this my programming that is telling me I don't have those feelings? Because if your programming has been such that you were not given the love, attention, and affection that you needed when you needed it, from birth to age 7, your subconscious programming is going to tell you that what love is having to prove yourself worthy of being loved, being kind of discarded, not showing outward love, attention, and affection. So longing, wanting, feeling lack is your actual experience of what love is. So when a man shows you real openness to love, affection, attention, gives things freely to you of his time, of his attention, of his love, of his tangible things, you're going to feel like, well, this isn't love. I don't feel anything. That's your subconscious programming. I want you to take stock of that if you want your age related to wanting to marry and have children. This man this is a hypothetical I'm giving you, who shows you all of these things. Again, you're not going to feel it if you've had that subconscious programming. I encourage you to allow it to unfold by working on your programming more than anything. You see, if he wants to move forward with some kind of exclusivity or commitment, you're going to see more and more of that from him. This gives you the chance to see what it would truly be like. And again, to the degree that you can open yourself to it, you'll have the best shot at moving through it with him. At the end of the day, if you've accepted his exclusivity and moving through, you will see the best of him, you will move through, and you owe nothing more than, as the woman, your attempt at it. Here's what the man wants. If he wants you, he wants the chance and the shot at proving to you he can make you happy. That's all he's asking for. And you owe him nothing more than giving him the shot. It's not an absolute that's going to go the full distance. Give yourself the chance, but do it by working on the programming as well. I hope that helps you. And that's something that is a must to be working on. If you do not feel, if a man is truly like, why don't I feel anything? He couldn't be better on paper. He's all that I've said I've wanted. Well, here's the real deal. Women say they want him to be kind and sweet and nice and loving and caring and attentive and all these great things. Our subconscious says that's boring because it doesn't feel like love. It's not the program experience of love. The program experience of love is I must be vying for attention, affection. So this doesn't feel like love at all. This feels like nothing. It's a whole different world. Our subconscious must get in alignment with I am valued, I am lovable, and actually feel it first to be able to even receive it. It's why we go after the bad boys, the ones that cannot commit. And that going after feels like love because it harkens back to our earliest experience of, for us, what love is. There is no what love really is. Everybody has a unique thumbprint of what it is. If we were abandoned as a child, then our experience of what love is that unfortunately, not that we're a victim of abandonment. We were the cause of it. And when we interpret those baby stages of being the cause of it, that's our experience of what love is. And we will seek to replicate that experience. They used to think it was a replication to try to work it out with another adult. No, it's not. It's just a replication, because that's what our subconscious does. Our subconscious told us from our baby experience what love is. Just a given, whatever that was. You didn't get attention. It's not about blaming mom or dad, because attention for a baby is constant. It is all the time, not just when mom or dad can be there, when they aren't working. This is why we have so much more anxious attachment than we did years and years and years ago, because we grew up not feeling safe at all. Because the only people now that actually rear children in the way we need to be reared as human animals that we are is never leaving mom's hip. What is that? That's tribes. We see sub-Saharan Africa where the mom is with the baby on her hip while she's carrying the big thing of water on her head, and then the other little ones are running around. They're happier people. I think it's called Hunti or some tribe. They are considered the happiest people on earth, and they've done a lot of studies from the 1940s about happiness. Yes, because they don't have anxious attachment. They wouldn't even know what it is, because they've been reared in a way as to not be anxious. It's just what babies need. It doesn't fit the modern world. This is a sad fact. So we hope that we can go back to some semblance of, for the first minimally 3 years, baby and mom are not separated. Now, it starts at from 18 months through the second year, and depending on the level of the child, it can be a little bit better. But for the first 18 months, absolutely not. This is what's so terrible about it, because it doesn't fit the modern world. But it's why we have more and more and more anxious attachment. It's not just something out there on social media that is bandied about. It's truly happening, and it is born out of our modern society and how we have been subconsciously programmed, because we were in lack of what we needed at the time we needed it. And you can't go back and replace that, but you can override the programming, meaning it is programmed in you. Now we have to start to override it, and you have to make a decision to do it. You have to know that it's for a long time to come. It's something you must be working on, and it can be fun, and it's not hard. It's not hard. It's a must to do. That's all. And love is healing. So when we override the programming with our mindset stuff, self-concept work, there's specific ways we do that. Then we add in the fun and enjoyment of manifestation and living in the knowing that we can have the life that we want and the love that we want. We add in the mechanics of men, and then the man that we're with, we go step by step to make that work, and that love is healing. So everyone is so deserving of getting their love and life partner that they desire from a healthy place. That's what we want for everyone. And very important to take stock of also, if you are looking for a man that you want to be husband and most specifically father, you've got to look for qualities that are gonna foster that. A man's dating skills are not his relationship skills. So if you go a little deeper and allow for it to unfold, you can see if that man is truly worthy of your time, attention, and affection by him giving you the commitment of exclusivity and wanting more. And that can help you as well. So glad you're here tonight. I'm going to love and leave you now. And I do. So I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to like this video. If you do, please help me grow the channel by sharing out far and wide and making your comments. It helps me enormously to grow and keep doing this with you, which I'm honored to do. Thanks. See you in the next video.